Ladies and gentlemen, tere, labdien, labadiena, добрый день. Hello once again. When Peter told me that I would introduce myself, I tried to draft the introduction, draft number 1, draft number 2, draft number 3, because it's such a challenging task to be a human book, like we all learned today what is meant to be a human book in a human library. So I will try to be very brief about myself. My name is Olga Proskurova, as you can see, and I'm from Latvia. And during one small talk in London last year, I had a vis-a-vis who asked me, "Oh, Olga, hi, you're from Latvia, right? You're Latvian." I was like, yes, but I'm Russian-speaking Latvian. So you're Latvian, right? Well, I said, not exactly. And then the conversation continued, and I always was thinking about it after the conversation, why I was stressing myself this, Russian-speaking Latvian, why it is so important for me, why it is important for me to add this information that the person probably didn't need to know about me. But that's the personal background. The professional background is the following. I was for 20 years connected with media. I started at the end of the 20th century, being a TV reporter for the tiny city channel in Riga. Then I went to report for Latvian public television as a reporter, then a TV news producer, presenter. Then I was editor-in-chief of the publishing house, which was called News Media Group. I was also lecturing at the University of Latvia and guest lecturing at Tallinn University, which I was very honored to do. But my last two jobs are of the big interest probably for you. So in 2014, I was invited by the Latvian Public Service Television to create a unit, a special unit at the TV station, which is called Russian Language News Department. So it was decided to enlarge news section and production at the Latvian television. So I was editor-in-chief back then. And then I moved to media literacy projects, and then Actis came into my life. Actis Strategy, which is a British company, which in 2017, if I'm not mistaken, had a grant to support independent Russian language media in the Baltics, and they had an idea to create a Baltic media accelerator in the region. So it's like, I know what is Baltic, I know what is media. What is an accelerator? So I was a traditional journalist for 20 years. So the word accelerator, incubator, hub was something really, really puzzling for me. And then I learned what it is. So I put it in a very serious manner, what the Baltic Accelerator was meant to be by the initial idea of the Actis strategy. You can read it, you may not read it, but the fact was that we were looking for some innovative Russian language projects in the Baltic region, which would approach content production in a very new way, in a startup way, in a informal or innovative way. And we created such a structure that would enable advisory board to select the projects for the accelerator. It was not based in Riga, Tallinn, or Vilnius. It was created in a kind of in an air. We moved a lot around the Baltics with the teams, but before we started, we made a research pre-launch research in 2017 with the research question, are really there in the Baltics shared places of spaces where startup people, where media people, where Russian-speaking, where Latvians, Estonians, Lithuanians can come together to create content? Are there really places out there where you can produce content in an innovative way? And so we made this research. We made around 40 interviews with the field experts. We went to Latvia, Estonia, and Lithuania to interview NGO experts, startup industry experts, content producers, and academia. And we found out very interesting facts that people are thinking about innovative approaches. People are doing great jobs in startups, in media, in academia, researching the problems. NGOs are doing the great job. But do they intersect? Not really. In Estonia, the picture was in the best shape, I would say. We found that startup industries meet together with creative industries, and they try to find synergy there. Like DigX at Tallinn University, Objectives in Ida-Virumaa regions. So we made really clever charts about what we found out. And these key findings or lessons learned were on different levels: language, language at startups industry, common spaces, what academia thinks about it, what efforts do governments really make to build these common or shared places. And again, everywhere there was a kind of sad picture about the situation, maybe except Estonia in some respect. So when we launched the Baltic Media Accelerator in autumn 2017, we produced a web page where applicants, any media, any team, regardless language, regardless existence on the market, or if there were newcomers to the market, where they could apply with their project. And the accelerator promised to them, if they would win, to enter the accelerator, that they would have financial support and acceleration program for 3 months. Acceleration and growth program. We had very interesting and distinguished partners who helped us to evaluate the projects. So we had an idea of equality already kind of incorporated in the selection process. So the experts were from Estonia, 2 from Estonia, 2 from Latvia, 2 from Lithuania, who made the final decision. And those experts were Estonian speaking and Russian speaking, Lithuanian speaking and Russian speaking, Latvian speaking and Russian speaking. And we had social media experts from Britain as well. And the main things, the main selection points for the projects, for the applications were 4, actually. That the project should have had sustainability prospects, that the project should have innovative approach to media production, the project should address Russian audience also, like including Russian audience, and the project should have a social impact. So we were very lucky to receive 72 applications from around the Baltics. We were expecting around 30. So when we got 72, it was a big number for us. For the first round, 22 projects were selected to go further. And then we had the opportunity to select only 3 winners for the acceleration program. And As you can see, the statistics of the countries, so Latvia had a bit more shortlisted projects, Estonia and Lithuania a bit less, but we also had pan-Baltic projects and some international projects as well. So the key findings out of selection process were the following: that the professional media community in the Baltics clearly understood the need to be innovative in order to reach wider audiences. A demand existed for different levels and forms of capacity building, content production, social media, audience engagement. The new skills needed to work with audiences and social networks, and they are largely missing. Startup and media communities have different agendas. Sectors do not intersect to create in 2017. And hyperlocal topics need to be addressed specifically. And hyperlocal, I mean the topics that are interested to such areas as Daugavpils area in Latvia, Ida-Virumaa in Estonia, Visaginas area in Lithuania. So the three projects that were selected by the committee were, and you can see they are from all three different countries. It was not intention to select one from Estonia, one from Latvia, one from Lithuania, but they scored the highest. So the project from Lithuania is called Nanuk, and if there are people from Lithuania, maybe you know them. It's a multimedia project which aims to investigate topics, to go deeper into topics, to talk seriously about serious themes like segregation, migration, etc. It's a very interesting project from Latvia, from Daugavpils, Hello Salyanka, which is absolutely unpolitical, but has a very big social impact in the area. And the project from Estonia that was selected is Radio 4. And you might be surprised by it because it's public service radio, but we selected this project for the acceleration. Why? Because they had a very innovative idea how to approach younger audiences. They understood that they are losing or they do not have younger audiences, and they created a project that they think would allow them to reach to the youngsters. So these projects were selected in autumn of 2017, and the acceleration itself represented 3 stages. So we had 3 sprints for the teams. During the first sprint, we had mentors and professionals who taught them about business planning. During the sprint number 2, we had mentors and professionals who taught them about branding and audience growth. And during the sprint number 3, they learned about product development. After each sprint, we had a test day for the teams. So they had to present after the sprint, after the mentorship, what they have learned and how they would apply their new knowledge into their project. So we had, every month, we had test days where they presented the progress, and that's how we created this kind of shared understanding of Baltic connection. So the test day number 1 was held in Tallinn, at Tallinn University. The test day number 2 was held at Vilnius, where we had the partner such as Lithuanian Journalism Center. The foundation week and the demo day, as we called it, when they presented their final projects, were held at Riga, at Stockholm School of Economics. That's how we tried to have this Baltic feeling to the projects, not only on the advisory board level, not only on the application level, but also geographically. So we moved with this project around the Baltics to create this shared understanding. And right now, they had a demo day in in March this year in March in Riga, and the projects that they kind of formulated during the acceleration, how they would be sustainable in future, because it was the task of the acceleration. Nanook, for example, they created a podcast which is called Naila Podcast. They regularly make podcasts. They have fundraising page on the Patreon platform where they raise money. They sell podcasts, and they're being very small, trying to make small money at the moment, but still money to be sustainable as well. Hello Solanka has, during the acceleration, they developed a different business model for themselves. They make offline and online events. They sell offline events in Daugavpils. They invite, for example, prominent people, celebrities, who are talking about different business issues, creative issues, etc. And they sell the tickets to the events in order to sustain their online presence as well. Radio 4, luckily for the Radio 4, they do not need to earn money, but they created a platform which is called Kissa FM. For my Russian ear, it sounds really challenging, Kissa FM, but I was kind of told by the project authors that Kissa in Estonian means, buzz, means something that you create around you. Is it right? Okay, so they developed this project to address younger audiences on social networks. They, being radio, traditional radio, address younger audiences making videos and making other visual materials on social networks, trying to connect traditional and non-traditional media approaches. So I was very pleased to follow all the Facebook pages and activities of our selected projects last year, last month, for example, and they still going on. They still published a lot of news. They are doing a great job. So we were not wrong in choosing them to become the winners. And Naila has much more followers and much more listeners than had in March. Hello Solanka is doing Hello Solanka branches in Daugavpils successfully. They're attracting also not only monetizing project itself, but they attract donors' money. Radio 4 is growing, and Kissa FM project is growing, and they managed also to have negotiations with, as I know, with their board, and they attracted attention also of Estonian-speaking colleagues at the public service. So probably they would create this experimental platform altogether, not only for Russian-speaking younger audiences, but in both languages. I guess with this project, we managed to, with Baltic Media Accelerator project, we kind of made the first step for other actors in the market to think about it in a more innovative way, to see the hope there, if we go with the Russian language media also into kind of startup thinking. So the logical step during the accelerator was also we made a hyperlocal media hackathon in Narva in November last year. We also organized the Baltic Forum for Russian-speaking journalists in Riga, having a special section on sustainability and new business models for journalists. Our colleagues at Stockholm School of Economics, they had a young media enterprise boot camp last summer here in Tallinn, last May. Our colleagues at Baltic Media Excellence Center in Riga, they created a new incubator for Daugavpils region, which is called Media Restart Incubator, etc., etc. And I guess this kisa and buzz, which should be going on around making startup thinking and media thinking coming together is something that we are really looking for and hoping to continue. Thank you. My time is up.